Because if this is their list, and they grade every player, every play, Dak is their sixth best quarterback in the NFL. Now, I've said before, I've got him about 12. Maybe I'm too low, but it's interesting. Dak's like art. His stock went up when he didn't play. The longer he's around, he's just worth more. So it's interesting. Last year he played 4 games, and I took those 4 games because it can't be just based off last year. And then I went to the previous year's final 12 games. So let's give him a season. Let's give him 16 games. So it's interesting. Dak Prescott's last 16 games, he's 6-10. That's not all his fault. The defense stinks. He completes 64% of his throws. Good, not spectacular. 30 TDs, 11 picks. Above average, not spectacular. Passer rating 97. Now, passer rating 97, 98. Let's round it up, 98. What does that mean? That's about 12th or 13th on average in the NFL. There are 10 guys 100 or higher. So that passer rating's about 13th. That completion percentage is about that level. The winning percentage is not good, and most of those wins are over the Giants and the Washington football team. But Pro Football Focus, so, maybe this is the data Jerry sees, has him, if this list has Brady, Mahomes, and Aaron in the top 10, which I think you'd have to put them in there. I don't know what they'll do with Deshaun Watson, but PFF has never graded Lamar Jackson very highly, so I don't think he'll be in there. They'll have Dak as the 6th best quarterback in the NFL. That is interesting, to me anyway. So what they'll have, my guess is, so right now in the top 40, they have Russell Wilson as the 22nd. Well, they have Russell Wilson as either the 4th best quarterback if Mahomes, Rodgers, Brady are in the top 10. Russell Wilson is the 4th best quarterback. Josh Allen is the 5th, and Dak is the 6th. That would be better than Lamar. Maybe better than Deshaun Watson. Better than Matt Ryan.
I'd love to talk to someone from Pro Football Focus to see. I mean,
overall, it's kind of an interesting list. It's just best football players.
Yeah.
And so it's a positionless list. I think.
So according to that list, he's higher than Deshaun Watson.
Well, we don't know yet.
But you're assuming.
I don't think Deshaun's going to be top 10. I know Lamar won't because of their PFF's grading. They've never graded him highly. So, and Justin Herbert, it is too young to have him as a top 10 player, right? But they'll have Dak ahead of Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, Matt Ryan, Justin Herbert, which I think is fair, Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield, Big Ben. That's pretty good. Yeah, some pretty big names. Isn't that kind of interesting?
It is very interesting. I mean, listen, I love Dak, but I think definitely, I don't think a slice of why I like Dak is intangibles, and that can't be what they're measuring.
No, that's tape.
Right.
That's interesting. So PFF, always loved Baker out of college.
Yeah.
We disagree on that, and they like Dak. Now I like Lamar. I think he's special.
Oh, of course.
They don't like Lamar.
Maybe that has to do with the downfield throwing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it is. They're watching tape every play. I'm not. I mean, I think if you win 80% of your games, I'm a big fan of you.
Exactly.
Since Brady's won about 70% of his games, I think sometimes do you win games? That's right. Gifted is, he's more gifted. I don't have a very good...
Michael might take it as an insult.
Well, Michael would.
But it's not meant to be an insult.
Right.
So the Suns will likely have Chris Paul back for Game 3. He's listed as probable for tonight's game and intends to play.
Boy, that's been a fuzzy situation. We kind of...
Yeah, I was thinking about that driving yesterday. I feel like me and you do a lot of thinking while we're driving. I'm like, what is going on with that? Like, how is he probable? Like,
can we get a definitive word?
What's happening? I don't know. Maybe, you know what? It's a lot of people have been arguing how much, even though we have a lot of medical information that would otherwise be private if you weren't an athlete that's out there on athletes. Like, I saw a lot of people like, well, it's because, HIPAA violations. Like,
no, it's not going to be a HIPAA.
Okay, they have injury reports, all right? Just chill out.
Don't know a HIPAA violation.
What you're talking about, but it is a little strange. Maybe he didn't want, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's strange, but he's probable for tonight. However, the Clippers will still be without Kawhi, who has been ruled out once again with a knee sprain. Although Cameron Payne's been incredible, 29 points.
Insane.
9 assists.
The weirdest game. His game is weird. It's George Gervin-y. It's weird.
He plays with such a fun intensity. He was brilliant to watch. But I know everyone was like a little overreacting, like, oh, I don't need Chris Paul. Like, just calm down. Like, Chris Paul's going to be back. It's going to be fine. Yeah. And Cameron Payne was playing a lot when Chris Paul was available. So the Suns are favored by 1.5 for Game 3 tonight, according to Fox Bet.
Teddy Bridgewater went 5-0 backing up Drew Brees. You can have backups that come in and for brief times, you don't really know how to defend them. You haven't seen a lot. There's not a ton of tape. They play with an elevated level of urgency.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you look up and you're like, Teddy Bridgewater just beat us. Wait, he's not Drew Brees, but Cameron Payne is an NBA player with the ability to score.
Yeah.
Long.
Exactly. So the Celtics are reportedly finalizing a deal to make Nets assistant Ime Udoka their next head coach. He started his coaching career in San Antonio working under Popovich for 7 years, and then he moved to Philly in 2019 and spent a season in Brooklyn. He reportedly very quickly separated himself in Boston's hiring process. He also received recommendations from Celtic stars like Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, and Jaylen Brown.
That's their three guys. You got to get along with those three.
Well, they all played for him with Team USA at the 2019 FIBA World Cup. So they all have a relationship.
That's why you hire him.
Yeah.
If your three guys like him, and Marcus Smart's not a big scorer, but he's one of the sole pieces of the Celtics. If those three like him, that's your coach.
He played 7 seasons in the NBA, and it never hurts to be starting your coaching career under Popovich, who has an unbelievable reputation with assistants getting jobs throughout. Yeah.
Andy Reid, yeah,
a great coaching tree. So I like this hire for the Celtics. Obviously, their stars buying into him is huge as well. And,
huge.
That's why they don't have to go through the rest of the offseason looking for a coach either.
That's why Nash got the job. Kevin Durant and they respected him. He was an MVP.
Well, the relationships are very important.
Yes.
And your stars trusting you is very important
huge
as well.
Now in the league, yeah.
So the Pacers have also hired their next head coach. Rick Carlisle was out of a job for 3 days. How long has it been?
Yeah.
Not a long time. He reportedly agreed to return to Indiana next season. He'll sign a 4-year, $29 million contract. This will be his second stint as the Pacers head coach.
Yeah.
He was there for 4 seasons in 2003 to 2007 and had a record of 181, 147 in that time. He was with the Mavs for 13 seasons and won a title in 2011. They were 34 and 38 last year.
Herb Simon's one of the legendarily nice guys. He owns the Pacers. He's a very nice man. Herb and Rick, I'm sure, ended on good terms because Herb's a nice guy. People really like him. So when you end on good terms, sometimes you get hired back. That's the way it works.
Well, we have lots of discussions about the coaching carousel in the NBA. And, every once in a while they will insert some new blood, which I think is very needed, especially when you have these young players who, have a different energy and there's a relatability factor and all of that. But I actually think that Rick Carlisle is a great fit. Not just because he has been there before, but I think he's a great fit for the Pacers. I think this is a good hire for them. We know what happens in Dallas. Sometimes it wasn't that Rick was necessarily failing there. Sometimes just stints come to an end. Things come to an end. People start to have a difference of opinion on how things are run or what needs to happen to improve.
And also, Joy, sometimes you get an older coach who doesn't fit with younger players. You get a younger coach who doesn't fit with older players. So much so much is fit.
Yeah.
Do you fit your personnel? And Rick's 61, Luke is a young guy, international. Maybe they don't quite. It's okay.
Also, where you are as a franchise, I think, matters as well. Do you have the stars you need? And you need to start winning now? Are you rebuilding like the Pacers and you need to really emphasize a whole new way of doing things? Different coaches fit for different times and eras with organizations. So that's another reason why I think it's a good fit for them.
Good stuff, Joy, with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.